In the context of ISO 9000, quality is defined as the degree to which a set of inherent characteristics of an object fulfills requirements. Here's a breakdown of this definition. Object refers to anything that can be described or considered, such as a product, service, process, system, person, or organization. Inherent characteristics are features or attributes of the object that are integral and permanent, such as performance, reliability, or compliance with standards. Requirements are the explicit or implicit needs or expectations of customers, regulatory bodies, or other stakeholders. Essentially, quality in ISO 9000 emphasizes meeting or exceeding the expectations and needs of stakeholders, focusing on continual improvement and customer satisfaction. The triple role concept within an organization highlights the interconnected responsibilities and contributions that every department and individual has. These roles emphasize how each entity functions in a multifaceted way to maintain and improve the overall system. Here's a breakdown. 1. Customer role. Responsibility departments and individuals act as internal customers to other teams or colleagues within the organization. They receive inputs, materials, services, or information that they rely on to perform their own tasks. Key focus: understanding and communicating their needs and expectations clearly to ensure the quality of the inputs they receive. Example: the assembly department is a customer of the parts fabrication team, expecting components to meet specific quality standards and delivery times. 2. Supplier role, responsibility. Departments and individuals are also suppliers, providing outputs, whether tangible products or intangible services, to other teams or external customers. Key focus: ensuring that the outputs meet the requirements and expectations of the receiving party to maintain process flow and quality standards. Example: the IT department supplies tools, systems, and support to other teams, enabling them to perform their roles effectively. 3. Process owner role. Responsibility departments and individuals are owners of their own processes, meaning they must oversee, optimize, and continually improve their workflows to meet quality standards and organizational goals. Key focus: maintaining accountability for their processes, identifying inefficiencies or problems, and implementing corrective actions to enhance performance. Example: the quality assurance team ensures that inspection processes are efficient and compliant with ISO standards while continuously seeking ways to improve them. Integration of roles. These roles are interconnected and form a continuous loop. Each entity depends on the quality of inputs. Customer role. Each entity contributes outputs that others rely on. Supplier role. Each entity manages its own workflows and improvement. Process owner role. This system-wide accountability ensures that everyone contributes to overall organizational quality and efficiency, aligning with ISO 9001 principles of customer satisfaction and continuous improvement. The key difference between quality assurance, QA, and quality control, QC, lies in their focus and purpose. 1. Quality assurance, QA. Preventive focus. Definition: QA is a proactive and systematic process aimed at preventing defects or issues in products, services, or processes by focusing on the overall system and standards. Objective: to ensure that the processes used to design, produce, and deliver products or services are effective and consistent. Approach: process-oriented, emphasizing planning, procedures, and compliance with quality standards. Examples: developing and implementing a quality management system, for example, ISO 9001. Creating work instructions, policies, and training programs. Conducting audits of processes and systems to ensure they meet established standards. 2. Quality control, QC. Detective focus. Definition: QC is a reactive process that focuses on identifying and correcting defects in products or services after they have been created. Objective: to ensure that the final output meets quality requirements and is free of defects. Approach: product-oriented, emphasizing inspection, testing, and verification. Examples: inspecting parts during manufacturing for dimensional accuracy, conducting performance tests on finished goods, identifying and addressing non-conformities in a production batch. Responsibility management driven involves all departments, usually the responsibility of specific teams. Both QA and QC are essential parts of a comprehensive quality management system, with QA aiming to minimize the chance of defects and QC ensuring that any defects that arise are identified and addressed effectively. The three general requirements of ISO 9000 can be summarized as follows. 1. Say what you do. This means clearly defining and documenting your organization's processes, procedures, and quality management system. The purpose here is to ensure consistency and provide guidance to employees on how to perform tasks according to established standards. For example, writing a procedure for handling customer complaints or documenting a work instruction for operating a specific machine. 2. Do what you say. This means following the documented processes and procedures consistently in practice. The purpose is to ensure that actual operations align with the quality management system and comply with the organization's stated commitments to quality. An example of this could be if a procedure requires inspecting 100% of incoming materials, ensuring the inspection is performed as described. 3. Show that it's effective. This means monitoring, measuring, and demonstrating that the processes are functioning as intended and achieving the desired results. The purpose is to provide evidence of compliance and effectiveness, ensuring continuous improvement. For instance, keeping records of quality inspections, analyzing non-conformance data, and conducting internal audits to confirm process effectiveness. Key takeaway. This cycle ensures that an organization's quality management system is not only well defined, but also actively implemented and continuously improved, meeting ISO 9000's emphasis on consistency, accountability, and effectiveness. ISO 9000 outlines three distinct types of requirements: customer requirements, regulatory requirements, and organizational requirements. Each plays a crucial role in achieving quality management. 1. Customer requirements. These are the explicit and implicit needs and expectations specified by the customer. The purpose is to ensure customer satisfaction by delivering products or services that meet or exceed these expectations. Examples include a customer specifying that a metal component must have a tolerance of plus or minus 0.02 millimeters, or the expectation of timely delivery within 5 business days. 2. Regulatory requirements. These are the mandatory obligations imposed by laws, regulations, or standards that the organization must comply with. The purpose is to ensure products or services meet legal and safety standards, protecting stakeholders and the environment. Examples include compliance with OSHA standards for workplace safety, or meeting environmental regulations, such as restrictions on hazardous materials like RoHS compliance. 3. Organizational requirements. These are internal needs and goals set by the organization, often aligning with its mission, policies, and strategic objectives. The purpose is to ensure consistency and continual improvement within the organization's operations and culture. Examples include following an internal procedure for maintaining equipment to prevent downtime, or achieving a corporate goal to reduce production waste by 10% annually. Understanding and balancing these requirements is fundamental to maintaining an effective quality management system under ISO 9000 standards. A quality system audit is a systematic, independent, and documented process to evaluate whether an organization's quality management system complies with established standards, procedures, and requirements, and is effectively implemented and maintained. Key elements of a quality system audit: systematic approach. The audit follows a planned, structured process ensuring consistency and thoroughness in examining the quality management system. Independence. The audit is conducted by individuals or teams who are impartial and free from conflicts of interest concerning the processes being audited. Documentation. Audit findings, conclusions, and evidence are recorded, providing a reliable basis for decision-making and follow-up actions. Purpose: to assess the compliance of the quality management system with standards such as ISO 9001, to determine whether the quality management system is effectively achieving its objectives such as customer satisfaction and continual improvement. Types of quality system audits. Internal audit. first party, conducted by the organization itself to ensure internal compliance and identify improvement opportunities, for example, verifying that production processes comply with documented procedures. External audit, second party, conducted by customers or other interested parties to ensure their requirements are met. For instance, a supplier audit to confirm compliance with customer quality expectations. Certification audit, third party, conducted by an independent certification body to determine conformity with a specific standard, such as ISO 9001. An example would be an audit to achieve or maintain ISO 9001 certification. Objectives of a quality system audit: ensure compliance with applicable standards, regulations, and internal policies. Identify gaps, risks, or non-conformities in the quality management system. Evaluate the effectiveness of corrective actions taken to address past issues. Promote continual improvement and strengthen the organization's quality culture. In summary, a quality system audit is a vital tool for ensuring that an organization's quality management system not only meets established standards, but also supports the delivery of consistent, high-quality products or services. An internal audit is a systematic process conducted within an organization to evaluate its compliance with established standards, policies, and procedures, and to identify areas for improvement. The process is typically divided into 4 general phases, each with specific activities. 1. Planning phase objective. Prepare for the audit by defining its scope, objectives, and methodology. Activities: define the audit scope, such as which processes, departments, or systems will be audited. Establish the audit objectives, like ensuring compliance, identifying risks, or verifying corrective actions. Review relevant documents, such as policies, procedures, previous audit reports, and standards. Create an audit plan, including a schedule, timeline, and allocation of responsibilities. Notify auditees of the audit scope and schedule to ensure cooperation. 2. Execution phase, audit performance. Objective: collect evidence to evaluate whether processes and activities comply with requirements. Activities: conduct an opening meeting with the auditee to explain the audit purpose, scope, and plan. Perform evidence collection through methods such as interviews with personnel, observation of processes and activities, and document review like records, logs, or reports. Compare findings against standards, procedures, and policies to identify compliance or non-conformance. Record audit findings objectively with supporting evidence. 3. Reporting phase objective: communicate the audit findings, conclusions, and any identified non-conformities or improvement opportunities. Activities: prepare the audit report, summarizing compliance with standards, non-conformities or deviations, and observations and recommendations for improvement. Conduct a closing meeting with the auditee to review findings and ensure clarity. Agree on corrective action plans to address non-conformities. 4. Follow-up phase objective: verify that corrective actions have been implemented and are effective. Activities: monitor the progress of corrective actions based on agreed timelines. Conduct follow-up audits or reviews to ensure non-conformities have been resolved. Document the effectiveness of corrective actions and update audit records. Provide feedback to management on the overall audit process and outcomes. Summary table phase objective: key activities, planning, prepare for the audit, define scope, review documents, notify auditees, plan schedule. Execution: collect evidence to evaluate compliance, conduct interviews, observe processes, review documents. Reporting: summarize findings and recommend improvements, create an audit report, review findings in a closing meeting. Follow-up: ensure corrective actions are implemented, verify resolutions, monitor progress, conduct follow-ups. By following these phases, an internal audit ensures that the organization's processes are not only compliant but also effective and continuously improving. A non-conformity is defined as a failure to meet a specified requirement. This can refer to non-fulfillment of requirements in a process, product, service, or management system. Key components of non-conformity requirements. These can come from standards such as ISO 9001 requirements, customer specifications, internal policies or procedures, and regulatory or statutory obligations. Non-conformance occurs when the actual outcome does not align with the requirement. Examples of non-conformities: a product not meeting dimensional tolerances specified in a customer drawing, a missing required inspection step in the production process, non-compliance with a documented procedure for handling customer complaints, failing to achieve required training or certification for personnel performing a task. Types of non-conformities: major non-conformity indicates a significant failure or a systemic issue in the quality management system. For example, lack of a required quality process, like no internal audits conducted for a year. Minor non-conformity, a less critical issue that does not pose an immediate threat to quality or compliance. For instance, a missing signature on a required form. Management of non-conformities. In quality management systems like ISO 9001, non-conformities are addressed through the corrective action process, which involves identification, recognizing the non-conformity, documentation, recording the issue for traceability, root cause analysis, determining the underlying cause of the non-conformity, correction, taking immediate action to address the issue, corrective action, implementing changes to prevent recurrence, verification, ensuring the actions taken are effective. By identifying and addressing non-conformities, organizations improve their processes and ensure compliance with standards and requirements. The role of an internal auditor is to independently and objectively evaluate an organization's systems, processes, and practices to ensure compliance with established standards, policies, and procedures, as well as to identify opportunities for improvement. Internal auditors play a critical role in maintaining and enhancing the effectiveness of the organization's quality management system. Key responsibilities of an internal auditor. 1. Planning and preparation. Define the scope and objectives of the audit in alignment with organizational goals and standards, like ISO 9001. Review relevant documentation such as policies, procedures, and past audit reports. Develop a detailed audit plan, including timelines, areas to be audited, and methods to be used. Communicate the audit plan to relevant stakeholders. 2. Conducting the audit. Perform audits in a systematic and impartial manner. Collect evidence through interviews, observations, and document reviews. Verify that processes are being followed as documented. Assess whether the processes are achieving their intended outcomes. Identify and record any non-conformities, risks, or opportunities for improvement. 3. Reporting findings. Document audit findings clearly, ensuring they are based on objective evidence. Distinguish between conformities, non-conformities, and areas for improvement. Prepare an audit report that summarizes the audit scope and objectives, key findings and conclusions, and recommendations for corrective actions or improvements. Conduct a closing meeting with the auditee to review findings and gain agreement on corrective actions. 4. Follow-up and verification. Monitor the progress of corrective actions taken in response to non-conformities. Verify that the corrective actions are effectively implemented and that the issues are resolved. Document follow-up activities and communicate results to management. Skills and competencies of an internal auditor. Knowledge of standards. Familiarity with relevant standards such as ISO 9001, ISO 14001, or others. Analytical thinking, ability to assess processes critically and identify root causes of issues. Communication, clear and effective communication skills for interviews, reporting, and discussions. Objectivity, maintaining impartiality to ensure unbiased evaluations. Detail orientation, attention to detail for thorough evidence collection and documentation. Importance of an internal auditor. Compliance ensures the organization adheres to regulatory and quality standards. Risk management identifies risks and non-conformities that could impact the organization's goals. Improvement highlights areas for process optimization and efficiency. Confidence provides assurance to management that the quality management system is functioning effectively. Internal auditors are critical to fostering a culture of accountability and continuous improvement within the organization.